Hey guys, happy Monday again. Today is Monday, March 11th, 2019. Super excited to be here with my friend Daniel, or as I call him, Danny Hernandez, with Oscar. And we'll talk about Oscar, we'll talk about life, we're going to talk about all sorts of things. And then Danny has some really cool announcement that he's going to make. But we want to make sure that you can hear us and see us. So give us a thumbs up, give us a heart. Kathy's on. Hi, Kathy. So it's super important. Ben Gilbert, I'll be there Wednesday, Ben. There's an OYP thing. So we got a thumbs up. Matey's back on. We love Matey. All right, so welcome to the show, buddy. We've been trying to do this for a while, right?
Almost a year.
I didn't even give you any of the things that you're not supposed to do or talk about. So sky's the limit on this show. I don't know what's happening. So we always like to, Melinda's on. Hey, Melinda. We always like to get the origin story. We want to know a little bit about you. Shots on Danny. That's nice, Matey.
Oh, Matey.
You know us, Matey. That's very good. But they like to know a little bit about you. So if you can tell us where you came from, a little bit about you before you got into the real estate world.
Well, obviously, I'm a Jersey boy, just like you.
A Jersey boy.
So, Newark, New Jersey.
Newark.
In the industry, close to now, it's going to be 33 years.
How is that possible? You look 12.
I know.
This is that Latino blood.
Problem.
This is the problem.
Yeah. So
it's the skin. Hey, Shirley.
I started, selling condos off the beach in North Miami Beach, Aventura area.
How did you get into real estate, though? So did you?
It was an accident.
Okay, so tell us about the accident.
Oh, man, that's a long story, but it was an accident.
There's Jessica. We were just talking about you, Jessica.
Oh, is that Jessica?
Yeah. Hi, Jessica.
It was just an accident. I went down and started doing some timeshare, and really it was just by circumstances that I met this particular developer and kind of took me under his wing. It's a long story.
What'd you do before that you obviously, were you in some kind of sales before? See, I didn't give you any of the prep work. Usually I say, please don't say you were born and started in real estate. So give me a little bit in between. What did you want to, you didn't want to be a realtor when you grow up?
No, I didn't. Okay. I haven't worked for anybody. I started doing real estate since forever. I've not done anything else but real estate.
Oh, so you've only done real estate.
Yeah,
did you have a family background in it?
No,
all right, so somebody had to have introduced you. Obviously have a sales, you're very good with people.
Yeah.
Sales isn't always the best description, but you're really good with people. So did you grow up in a household where you needed to be good with people? Did you always have the charm that Danny Hernandez has? How did that work?
It's funny, you say that, a lot of people like my charm. A lot of people see that I'm very transparent.
You are.
That's just always been me. And I always, now that I speak across the United States and talk to real estate practitioners across the United States, I always say, people do business with people that they like.
It's true, right? I think people really underestimate that. I think people think, it's all about the money, or it's about, hey, Sue Vasquez.
Sue, just doing a deal with her.
I owe you an email, Sue Vasquez. You know I love you. But I think people underestimate the value of how important that is. They want to do business with people they like. So the like part, though, is only the beginning. So you can like me, but if I don't have a good back office or support to back up the likable Ted, then I'm not really worth anything. So you have to have that, right?
So, just because of my personality, I chose not to go a franchise way. I always wanted to be an independent brokerage. I believe the boutique brokerage, and this is just my own personal opinion.
Sure.
I believe people, buy you, don't buy the brokerage.
They do buy
But that's just my personal opinion. I have many friends that are, owners of franchises, and if it works for them, great. For me, it didn't work for me. And, people know me. They don't know my brokerage.
That's correct. Well, I don't know your brokerage. I know you.
Right. There you go.
I know, but that's so important because that value. So they want to buy into you. So it doesn't matter what you're selling, so to speak, behind it. If they like you, if they care about you, if they feel connected to you, they're going to do business with you,
Right.
Which is what you said.
In fact, I just said that today at the new member welcome at the association at Oscar, because I'm the president.
Tell them what Oscar means.
Oscar means Osceola County Association of Realtors. Great acronym for our realtor association. So, I think we had like over 82 new members today.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. And we do that twice a month. So you can imagine the new members that are coming into the real estate
What
industry.
made you want to be, your title's president, is that what you are?
Correct.
So what made you want to be president of Oscar? What made you want to go, all right, I want to take a leadership role?
You know, it was for two people in particular, Veronica Malolos, she may not be watching, or Jeff Perry, I think you know Jeff. I was in the leadership role at NARP. That's really how I got involved in the leadership role. I was the director, I was actually the president of the Central Florida chapter back in 2011.
You were?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
2011, 2012.
Mike McGraw, before we forget, just popped on. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
And he says, talk about your bike, Danny.
That's the other. I'm a broker by day and a biker by night. But yes, definitely. I started at NAREP and kind of opened up the doors to the local market.
And NAREP is the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals.
Right. So when I became involved in NAREP, I started moving up in the leadership. I really don't do these type of shows. I'm really not great at social media. Again,
You're very good at social media. Don't undersell yourself. I think you're really good at it.
I don't like the accolades. I don't like none of that stuff.
Well, it doesn't have to be accolades, but people love to hear a story. They love to hear, because there's people out there that may want to get into real estate or struggling in real estate or even in business or trying to figure out what it is they want to do. And so they like to hear how you came about. I mean, the fact that you were apparently born and you were a realtor.
Right.
That's my first little story there. I feel like it's so interesting to people and it's motivating to people if they can hear the story about how you got involved.
I believe, I'm a very humble person. A lot of people don't even know the stuff that I've done. To become a director of sales for the Atlantis in the Bahamas, that's a huge accomplishment.
Wait, you were director of this is why I'm so surprised as an expert.
A lot of people don't know that.
Wait, do we still have those contacts?
No, that was a while
Oh
back.
man, that's
Actually, I'll be going
unfortunate.
there in a couple weeks. but,
Nice,
yeah.
so he still has those contacts.
A little bit, not as much, but yeah. But things like that, at the end of the day, I care about the Benjamin. I don't really care about the accolades, because really what's important is really putting family in homes. You can relate to that.
So you care about the people,
Yes.
but you also care about making money. I talked about this on my show on Friday. I think people underestimate the value of, okay, I want to do the right thing, I want to do good, I want to help people, but I'm also not a Rockefeller. Hey Angel, I still have to make money. And I think people want a whole bunch of stuff from people like you. They want to tap into your database, your knowledge base, and yet they want to do it and you're not supposed to make any money. This is me talking. And I think it's so important for people to hear you say that. We still want you to make money with what you're doing, but there are a lot of different ways to do that.
Absolutely, and I teach across the United States real estate.
Talk about
that.
that.
And I mentor that because I'm a part of the National Association of Realtors, and I'm a speaker for them as well. And I'm on the chair of the diversity committee. So when I go speak, especially in different parts of the United States, the first thing I say is, a lot of people don't even know the definition of wealth.
They don't know the definition of wealth.
At 18 years old, or at 19 years old really, in North Miami Beach, the guy that actually taught me real estate said, he asked me the same question. And he called me an idiot because I answered him wrong.
What did you say? What was your answer?
I says, well, you make money, you spend money. That's what I thought, It's like, hey, I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm going to spend a lot of money, right?
That seems smart.
But he called me an idiot, and he said, you know what wealth really is? He says, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. That's how you determine wealth.
I like it. So did that sync with you?
Absolutely.
Is it Sarah or Sarai Cortez?
Sarai.
Terrible.
That's
My Spanish is not good.
Sarai. Hey,
So
Sarai.
that stuck with you. So that's
Absolutely.
the amount of money you keep. In other words, it's not all about, you can make a ton of money, but if you're spending more than you're making, then you're not doing anybody a service.
Exactly.
There's no wealth there.
There's no wealth whatsoever.
That's just making money, spending money. You're in the negative. You're not in the positive.
And you know what's funny? And I'm telling you stuff that's personal to me. But he basically also said not too long ago, a good friend of mine as well, repeated it. And I was like, wow, it's sunk in again. It says, when you're at that age, when you're 20 and 30, you're thinking you need the Mercedes Benz. You're thinking you need the Lamborghini or whatever because you're making all this money.
Right.
At the end of the day, you really don't need that.
You really don't.
You don't, because you know what they said to me? He says, you know what, worry about making money, making yourself wealthy. Then when you're in your 30s and your 40s, you turn those needs into wants. You go into a dealership, and instead of financing, you pay for it cash. You know, I'm one of the, how can I say it, the baby from all about wealth. You know, it's really what you keep in your pocket.
So when you're working with people, when you're out and you're obviously motivated, you're part of the leadership. You travel with NAR, which is National Association of Realtors, and speak. Do you find that people misunderstand wealth and then they're working for the wrong reasons and doing the wrong things when they are trying to grow their business?
That's the majority of the problem. You know, at the association we have 3,700 members. But we talked about this the other day. Only a fraction actually does business. What does that tell you?
Why is that? So I'm always amazed. So it costs money to be, we're going to use being a realtor, for example.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. It costs money for you to be an entrepreneur, to be your own boss, which is basically what a realtor is. So it costs you the money. So you're going to pay that money in, and then you're not going to do anything with it. Why?
It's mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling that you spend, let's say you spent almost $1,000 just to get your license. Spend another $1,000 just to become an association and MLS.
Yeah.
And then whatever other fees. I mean, you're thinking about it. You spend all this money, but then
you're not selling.
anything.
You're not doing anything.
Then what's happening is that you do 1 or 2 deals a year, and it's really bad for the real estate practitioners, or the professionals, I should say,
It's true.
that are doing the business out there, because of those 1 or 2 that are only doing a few transactions a year. It makes it difficult for us.
So what happens? So let's talk about in general. So we can talk about realtors, but we can
Kelly's
talk
here.
about, hi Kelly, we love Kelly.
I like him.
And
Very
hey Dorothy. What happens for an entrepreneur, and that's what I believe realtors are. I really do. I feel realtors are entrepreneurs. You're your own boss. You've got a whole bunch of people you're dealing with, but you're still the one that determines how much money you bring in.
Correct.
And so if you're that person in any business, what are they doing wrong? What focus is wrong? And if you're going around teaching this, I'm curious, because I feel like there are things that they are doing because that's what somebody has told them to do.
Oh,
but
you
it's
hit the
not
nail on the
it's
head,
not
because that's what I
necessarily
wanted
the
to
right
talk
thing.
about.
So talk about it.
So, hence the reason why I'm here.
Oh, I thought you were here just to spend time with me,
Well,
Danny.
yeah, true. But you know, I see on Facebook, and I'm not really a big fan of Facebook, but I see on Facebook these false narratives, or people are saying, I'm a $15 million producer, I show up on this magazine, blah, 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 blah. And what happens is, when you really pull up their numbers, it doesn't exist.
You know we can pull up your numbers, right?
Hello.
We totally.
Don't be going on Facebook and saying you're a $50 million
We
producer.
can call you out. And this is, Matt.
Oh,
see
there's
Matt's Macaroon. What's up, Matt Gordon?
I'm actually closing a deal with him and Sue on a couple days.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. You mean Matt works?
Oh,
I didn't
no.
realize it. This
Oh,
is
no.
good
Look
stuff.
who showed
Wendy
up.
Stewart just popped on. What's up, Wendy Stewart? I love it.
Wendy, it's Danny and the Cloud and Ted.
That's right. Here we go. In Orlando. But
anyway,
go
yes.
ahead. Talk
So
about
what
that. Because I think it's important. I think people don't understand. First of all, we can look at your numbers, right?
Yeah.
And that shouldn't matter. So, but why are you putting out the false narrative? Why is that important to what you're doing in business? And I think it's not, but I think you think it is.
So what happens is that you get these other real estate practitioners that see these people going on Facebook or posting and the couples things and whatever, and they're supposedly doing this amount of business when they actually aren't. So I'm calling you out because that's how I am. So what's happening is it's a false narrative. You're really hurting the real estate practitioner that's out there that's trying to figure out who are the true players. And let me tell you something. And me.
Here it goes.
Here it
people.
comes. Here it comes. Anybody could be a good realtor in a good market. Anybody.
I agree with you, but I think a lot of them get lost. And this is in all businesses. They're not sure what to do. They want to follow the lead. And remember what Danny said, there's a false narrative out there. And that's in any business. I don't care what you're doing, where you're at, there's a false narrative out there. So you have to figure out what's true, what isn't, and also what works for you and doesn't. And also you need to figure out your definitions. What's your definition of wealth? What's your definition of success?
Exactly.
What's your definition? What's going to get you to the place you need to be in order to take care of yourself your family, your needs. And you have to pull all of that together and stop comparing yourself to the Joneses or the Hernandezes. You have to really figure it out.
So here's some words of advice, and I'm doing a special event which you don't know yet, which I'm about to announce. Is if you're a real estate practitioner, you really want to go look at the numbers, and you can do so either by Aura or by Oscar. Just ask them, how much business does this particular person do? And you'll find out the truth.
Did y'all know that you can do that? I knew you could do that, but I think a lot of people didn't know.
So a lot of people don't know. So those real estate practitioners out there, that I wouldn't even associate myself with somebody who's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, or even 20 deals a year. You want to go out there to do and meet and find out, but you got to find out for yourself. You got to do your homework. It can't come to you. You got to do it. You got to go to your local associations, regardless of or Oscar, or whoever you belong to, and find out who are the true players. Let me tell you something, Ted.
I'm listening.
You know, I've been in this market 33 years. I've been through
How
three
is that
down
possible? How old? I can't.
I used to have an afro when I used to.
I've seen a picture of you with hair once.
But you know what I'm saying? What I'm really truly saying is that if you look at the power players, they were also successful in the down market.
I agree.
So, words of wisdom. Truly find out if that person that you believe is a power player is truly a power player. There's ways to find out, because some people just like to talk.
Because if you're banking on that, and that's who you're setting your standard by, that's who you're comparing yourself to, you're doing yourself a disservice. So, and it doesn't mean that their business isn't good for them,
right?
But if they're putting out a false narrative and that's what you're living by, you're not doing yourself any favors.
You know what we call that in Spanish?
Tell me.
Loco en mi alma.
I cannot. I'm going to learn that in a minute. Locum something. Crazy.
But anyway,
it's got
so
crazy.
Here's what just because I've been involved at Oscar, and now I see it at a much larger scale. So I decided to get with some true power players that I personally vetted. And I wanted to create an event that when you're as a real estate practitioner or a realtor, you really come out of, this is not no lunch and learn. This is not because there's so many events out there, and I'm calling them all BS. I'm calling you guys all BS.
Listen, I'm not a lunch and learn person, but that because I don't learn that way.
Right. So I'm creating an event that's hopefully, I'm looking for May the 2nd to be, and it's going to be an event where that real estate practitioner, and I promise you, because I stake my name on this, that when you come out of this event, you're going to say, I personally gained something out of it. Don't go to these events that are these lunch and learns and not gain anything out of it. Don't go to the conventions and spend thousands of dollars and not gain anything out of it. You know, come to my event, ask my people, ask me questions, because I will definitely dare answer them. Is this the event you were talking about? Yeah, the event that you're going to moderate.
We're going to moderate. I'm moderating. I love moderating. No, I love that, because I think what happens is and if you compare yourself in any business, in any industry, and you compare yourself with people, and there is the false narrative, then you're feeling bad about yourself. And so that's where I think we find a lot of people failing. They think that they're not doing the things they need to do, instead of focusing on the things you really, truly know you should be doing. You're focusing on somebody else who looks like they're achieving a ton of business, and they are self-accolading themselves. That's my word.
I mean, what do you think about that, Ted? Let me be the host here. How do you feel about people like that?
I'm not a fan of people who have to promote themselves all the time. And I don't mean from a business perspective. I get it. There are algorithms for social media that you should do. But what I really don't like are the people that I know that put themselves out there and then promote this fantasy of what their life is and what their business is, and other people are looking up to them and other people are doing business with them. It makes me sick to my stomach. I'm not a fan of that at all.
It actually hurts.
It hurts all of us. It hurts any industry you're in. It hurts the real estate industry, but no matter who it doesn't matter what the industry is. When you're comparing yourself to people that are full of it, it doesn't do anybody any good. And those people are doing it for a reason. They have their reason for doing it, but they don't realize the impact that they're making because people are following them and listening to them.
That's the problem.
I agree. So when you travel, what do you see? Is Orlando the only crazy market, or is everywhere across the country just as nuts as Orlando is in Central Florida?
Unfortunately, the real estate industry is nationwide. what happens here happens in California, happens in, in New York. It's just a different scale. Our price markets are different. I just came from Miami, and we were just talking about Miami.
Love
how
Miami.
the market is, it's only 4 hours away, but the market's so different down there.
Completely different.
Night and day. So you kind of have to figure out, as a real estate practitioner, education is key.
Education is key. So let's talk about you being president of Oscar, because I think that's so important. So I didn't know, and I don't know who the past president is, all right? But I'm going to tell you, I didn't know about Oscar until I knew Danny Hernandez. So here's somebody who's coming in, and this is a big testament to you and what you're trying to create there, and what you are creating there, is that you're creating an open engagement. I didn't know. I knew WCR Osceola. I understood that, but as far as Oscar goes, I swear to God, because I'm not a realtor, I had no idea. I thought everybody was under aura. And so what a wonderful thing that you were the face and the body,
Right.
and you're the message for that.
Well, to be honest with you, when I was asked or saying, hey, you should step up, I kind of told the people that asked me to step up at Oscar, saying, me, I'm a loudmouth and I speak my mind. So I'm going to call people out just because that's who I am.
Sure.
I'm the third Hispanic, proud to be the third Hispanic in a 66-year-old association.
I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
For the first time in 66 years, half the board is Hispanic. As the chair for the diversity committee at the National Association of Realtors, diversity is a big thing, and we
Let's talk about that. I want to talk a little bit about diversity. It's Women's History Month. We had International Women's Day on Friday. So why is diversity, that's a big buzzword. So if you saw anything recently in entertainment news, you saw that The Hills, which is an old show, is coming back, and Heidi and her, one of the people said, well, diversity, of course, the other girl has different colored hair than I do. So when we talk a little bit about, you can't make that up, you should Google it. She has dark hair, Heidi has blonde. So why is diversity, why is it so important to the growth, and why is that the buzzword from your perspective?
Well, and I think I messaged you on the last show you had. You had a couple. Who was the last week?
Well, I had international. Well, on Friday I had Renata Rabella.
Right. So, again, let me repeat. In 1968, we just not celebrated. Let me correct myself. Commemorated the 50th anniversary of the Fair Housing Act. So
yes, you did bring that up.
Yeah. So back then, if you weren't Caucasian or a female, you had to be either Caucasian or male. If you weren't either of those, you can be a realtor with the National Association.
Yeah, it's only 50 years ago.
That's
guys.
insane.
Can't make it up.
That's insane.
People don't believe that happened. They really don't believe it happened.
It happened. So,
I know it did.
But 50 years later, they realize, and they're not celebrating, but they're commemorating, and they figure out their mistakes. But look at our population here. Look at our population. Statistics show that 62% of Caucasian in the state of Florida, 62%, declare themselves as white origin. The rest are either Hispanic, Asian American, or African American.
Right.
So why are you not tapping into that market?
So Osceola has, and tell me, I could be wrong about this. If I feel like Osceola has a larger Latino community per capita, I'm guessing, than Orange County does.
Correct.
And so it has to be addressed. But I'm amazed at people who don't want to take that into consideration.
Well, I'm glad you said that. It has to be addressed. But how can you address it if your association doesn't reflect your demographic?
Agreed. I agree. So this year you have your board is
Half Latino.
half Latino. What is the correct, just for us gringos, is it Hispanic or Latino?
It's either or. If
Either
you're gonna
way,
say it in
okay.
English, you say Hispanic. If you say Hispanic, Latino.
Okay, there you go. I just needed to know that.
But needless to say, we can have racism within our own Hispanic origin. Believe me, I go through it. I can't even tell
That's
you.
a whole nother. I just did a podcast with Vanessa Eccles from Channel 9, and her podcast is Colorblind, and we talked about every time she gets me on there, I literally, Vanessa, I love you, but I'm the guy that's asking the questions that people don't want to ask, mainly because I think that we need to at least have an open dialogue about things. So what's wonderful about what you're doing, your board is half Latino, a Latina. Is that includable?
Latino.
Latino.
Yeah. Latinos.
So your board is that's a big step. This is big movement, and it shouldn't be Lulu. I love you so
Lulu.
much. Lulu popped on. She's amazing.
She's great.
But I feel like it's something that we don't talk about, and you would assume already. I would have assumed that Oscar, the Osceola Real Estate Association, Realtor Association, would already be at least half Latino.
No, and unfortunately it hasn't. But it's never too late.
It's never
Even
too
if you're
late.
Caucasian, why not tap into that market?
Why wouldn't you? So I think a lot of people are afraid. So for me, for example, I'm on the advisory board for NAREP Central Florida.
Correct.
And so, but what's great about it is, un poquito. I know Corona, Margarita, Tequila, Dos Cervezas, por favor, baño. I mean, I know the
Poquito.
Yeah, that's all I know. But what's great is there's an embracing of non-Hispanics, non-Latinos to come in.
So you felt that?
I felt it 100%, but I didn't know it going in. So this is part of the problem that we have to figure out. Awareness. We have to teach people. We have to include people. And this is across the board. It's the same on the Women's Council. Just because I'm a dude doesn't mean I can't be part of Women's Council. Just because I'm a white guy doesn't mean I can't be part of NAREP. You have to reach out. These groups are not exclusive. They want to be inclusive. They want to be inclusive. They literally want to be inclusive. They want you to, and diversity goes across the board. I mean, a lot of times it's white people who talk about diversity. Why? Because we're not really the most diverse people in general. But it's also the Latino community, the women's community. They want diversity. Why? Because you can't have all of the same people doing the same thing. You want to have other people, you want to have other opinions, and they also remember what it's like to be excluded. So they want the inclusion. That's why diversity, in my opinion, is very important.
But think about it. Money's green. It's only one color.
Money's green.
Isn't
I
it?
should dress up green. Money is green. You're absolutely right.
At the end of the day, you became a real estate practitioner, regardless if you're a title, lender, inspector, to make money.
You did. Why else would you do it?
So that's why I decided to do this event. It's public. It's going to be limited seating. I'm going to have some big, powerful players, some instructors, Florida instructors. I know that there's both Oscar and Aura. They do classes, but you go to these classes and I can see it in the faces in the real estate practitioners that attend these classes. Like, I'm still missing something. And I want to make an impact, not only in me, but I want to make an impact on the real estate practitioners, because at the end of the day, we represent our community.
I agree. So tell us a little bit about Danny, just a teeny bit. So what's your personal goal? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do with your life? It doesn't have to be for Oscar. It doesn't have to be for the Latino community, but what do you want to do? What is your goal?
Again, I've been doing this so long that...
I can't believe it's 33 years. Yeah. You're a baby. How did that even work?
That was, it was a long time ago. But, I'm a .com baby. I'm from the Dave Ramsey era, so I believe about living below your means. So here's where I'm at personally. I'm at the end of my career, but I want to now teach. I want to empower. I get a passion regarding that. I don't want to show homes anymore. I'll be public. Do I get to still show homes? Absolutely. I'm very active.
You are, but your passion. Mm-hmm. You want to educate people. You want to help people.
I want to be able to look at Anthony from the Property Pros and Wendy.
Anthony and Wendy, we love them.
I'm the one who brought Anthony into the real estate industry.
No way.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know that. I love Anthony.
Mr.
We're brothers.
Terry, you got a story to tell.
Yeah, he's a good friend. Eddie Rivera out of Altamont, which is also another broker, and they just decided to open up their brokerages. But I was able to kind of help them. And I tell Anthony in private conversations that I'm very proud of him. He's growing his business. And for me, that I've been in this business so long, to see how he prosper and look how he's got Wendy and his brokerage is flourishing.
It's amazing.
There's no better satisfaction. I don't make any money out of it, but I like to see him and succeed, and I encourage him. That's what we should do. Should encourage other real estate practitioners to succeed. That is a true leader.
So, all right. So you are at that point. You said where
I plateaued.
But you're still amazing at what you do. So you are making the money you want to make when you want to make it in the way and the fashion that you want to make it,
Correct.
right? I think that's super important too. You have to be doing it in a way that still makes you happy. Because you would have all this money coming in, but again, if you're pouring it out the back door, or you're doing it in a way that's not beneficial to humanity, trust me, that will literally come back and bite you at some point in time. So you're really doing things that are important to you in a way that's important to you.
I want to do something that, that's important to me, but also has an ultimate effect on the person who I'm projecting it to. Again, it all matters of who you are and what you do. I was a product of somebody that took me under my wing and showed me, said, you need to pass it forward. That's the bottom line.
Mentorship, seriously, if you guys are not mentoring somebody, if you are not taking somebody under your wing, you're doing yourself, and you really are going to benefit from it. And that's not why you should do it. You should do it because you want to do it. Your heart and soul are in it. But I think mentorship is such an undervalued thing that we can do. You're already doing the things you need to do. So bring somebody in who needs the help, and that's why these organizations.
Let me tell you something about that. I'm glad you touched upon that.
Tell me.
I have a bunch of friends in the industry that are actually coaches. For those people that are actually paying for coaches and whatnot, you need to ask your coach, when was the last time that person did a transaction?
Listen, I'm 1,000% in agreement. I have people who are paying a ton of money for coaches in all industries, and what's interesting to me is that the people who are coaching them aren't in the industry itself, or maybe they were 10 years ago, but they don't know
20 or 30 years ago.
And I'm in agreement that some messages are universal, but if you're not in it, you're not feeling it, you're not doing it on a daily basis, it's very hard.
Somebody?
I don't know how you coach people.
But hey.
It's super important, again, to vet everybody that you do business with. You really do have to. And if that person is guiding you and they haven't, we'll use real estate, they haven't given you, or they haven't done a transaction in 5-10 years, you're probably not with the person that you really want to be with. And this is the God's honest truth. And if you have a coach outside of your world, there's a couple of things, in my opinion, you need to be really cognizant of that, because they can coach you personally, but if they really want to coach you professionally, they have to have had the blood, sweat, and tears and the investment rolled up their sleeves and understood what's going on and continue to know what the market's like, my opinion.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to share all of Danny's contact information, how you can reach out to him. You want to reach out to him. He is a wealth of information and willing to share it with you. So why not reach out to Danny? He's just a good guy. You can't make this up. That's why I love live shows, because you cannot fake this kind of stuff. And he's very authentic, and everything he said, that's what he feels. So we definitely are very thankful to have you on the show.
Thank you for
oh my God,
almost
you're
after a year.
Amazing. We've been trying. All right. So I didn't get to give you any prep. So my last question I always ask, are there any parting words of wisdom, anything you want to share with them before we head out? I always joke there's two things you don't have to worry about. You don't have to cure cancer, and you don't have to win a Nobel Peace Prize by your statement. So anything you want to share with them before we head out?
As a real estate practitioner and able to succeed in real estate, look at your partners, define who your partners are. Thank God I have freedom as a partner, and that's just not a plug, but it's true. I just met Matt, and we're just closing a deal on, I think it's Wednesday. We're closing a deal.
Matt Gordon,
the macaroon. But it's relationships. I have different relationships with, like, for example, Celebration Title, Melinda from Respect, Florida, Michael, late NA alum. Look at those relationships. When you're doing business with these type of people, you want to make sure that you're getting something in return, because it has to be a two-way street.
Agreed.
It has to be. It can't be a one-way street. Relationship is all key about real estate practitioners. If you have the right people in your corner to make you succeed, you're gonna be doing well. Again, most real estate practitioners, anybody could do great in a great market, but when you're doing great in a slow market, my hat's off to you. I'll kiss your feet, because those are the true players.
I agree.
The true players out there, and I'm calling everybody out here. are not the ones on Facebook, are not the ones on social media. Those are the ones that are being quiet and doing their things. Because you know what, at the end of the day, like I said to you earlier, it's all about the Benjamins. I don't need to impress Facebook. I don't need to impress my friends. The only person I need to impress, and I don't care if you like me or don't like me, is Ben Franklin. Because that's the only person that hasn't let me down.
You're a joy, man. I appreciate you so much. Reach out to Danny. We're going to share all his contact information later. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks, man.
You know I love
Appreciate
you.
it, bud.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you guys, too. One more show. We got show number 4 in a little bit. God bless this lady who's coming
He needs
on.
a drink after this show.
Hello. Here we go. We love you guys so much. You know we do. Thanks for sticking with us. Reach out to Danny.
Take care, guys.